you have to learn how to be bored. In today's society, there's so much distraction, there's so much motion throughout the entire internet, through society, where everyone's always on go. And it has become such a bad thing to be bored by new American standards, and it's really sad to see. You need to be bored. You have to learn how to be bored. And what I mean by that is, back when we used to grow up, we used to get the best ideas when you were bored, when there was no phones, no social media, no media in general, like things like Netflix, Hulu, Paramount Plus, all these things, different sports games. And the reason I bring this up is essentially we have become wired to the system at all times, and it's getting to the point that escaping the matrix or just being the best version of yourself has become almost this new toxic way to get you just to not really be tapped into your own flow of consciousness. What I mean by that is essentially, if you're not bored, you don't really know what you want. You don't really get to ask yourself hard-hitting questions or really come up with any great idea or any new ideas you have for yourself and what you want to create in the world. Instead, you start to become sort of a program where you essentially just follow and repeat and consume the same content over and over again. And it's really difficult to go through this with everyday life, because then you realize you're not living the life that you want to live. And I tell a lot of people to be bored because I think what has been lost in today's society is the intentionality behind things. And I'm not saying by any means to not watch media or not grind or not strive to do certain things. But my point is that when you sit down with your thoughts and nothing more than that, you really get to find out and understand what you want out of yourself. And it's kind of sad that it's to the point that in this year and just society in general, being bored is almost like an idealistic standard. It's almost like a never before heard or seen thing in today's society. But point is that when you sit down and you really ask yourself or just really question the things around you, you start to learn about yourself and what you want to build in terms of your life, or in terms of anything in your career, the people you want to hang out with, the things you want to spend doing. And this is where intentionality comes into play, because you become more intentional about your time or what you're consuming. I really love the phrase, you are what you eat, because I don't even see it as you are what you eat. I see it as you are what you consume every single day. And that doesn't just mean food itself, but the media you consume, the ideas you consume, the friends you spend time with, the things that consume your time. These things are all encompassing on the person you want to be and the person that you let out into the world, the energy you put out into the universe. And not to get into anything spiritual or anything like when it comes to vibrations or frequencies, but the point is that what you put out into the universe is exactly what you're going to receive. And it's really important for you to understand yourself and really view the things that you want to create in this world, because your perception is the reality. If you consume all this content, all this media, and you don't really ask yourself, you will feel lost or feel like time has passed through you. That's because time is moving through you and not energy or life is moving out of you. Is passing through. You are just another rod in the system. You're not really giving away any energy or doing these things. So I say all this to say this. I think intentionality is really important, because I'm not saying these things are inherently bad, but I think what becomes really dangerous is when you just start going with the motions of things. You don't start questioning things or lose that curiosity or lose the will to improve. And it's not in the sense of, like, I know this sounds contradictory in the way that I mentioned hustle culture in the beginning, but a lot of people hear hustle culture and they don't necessarily are intentional about it. They do things that feel productive or do things that they think they should be doing, when they don't really ask themselves, like, what's the life I want to live? Who's the person I want to become? what values do I want to carry, what business do I want to start, and what values do those business have, what type of person do I want to reflect, how do I want to represent my family, what's the lifestyle I want to live in a couple years, will this business help me achieve this lifestyle? And I think this is all very basic things, and maybe to one person it might seem like, oh, this guy's talking out of his ass, these are all simple things. But I feel like, especially in today's society, and even myself included for sure, that accountability when it comes to the decisions you make on a day-to-day basis is not really there. So point is that that's where intentionality comes into play, where you essentially just realize that you can spend time doing these things, or consuming things that won't benefit you, or just taking the time to sit down with yourself and watch a Netflix show, or be intentional and build that business. And the whole idea is you're being intentional, and you have decided this is something you want to do, not just following some emotion of feeling inferior or compensating for something, or feeling stressed, so you consume more media that ultimately puts you more stress, ruins your sleep, and different things like that. I know there's a lot of people that won't understand what that truly means, and just think of it as like this dumbed down version of get better or self-help guru thing. But the whole idea is you need to be bored. You need to ask yourself these questions, and you need to learn what you want out of this life, because at the end of the day, no one will come save you and build that life you want to build. And these are things that you need to fight every single day. And everyone's human, everyone will go through these things and question it regardless, have that fear. But when you're doing something that scares you in the right way, you will learn who you are, and that's the ultimate goal. We're not here to make decisions, we're here to understand why we made those decisions. And that's the lesson for today. Thank you guys for watching. Stay blessed.